Ms. Stefanik.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, General Scaparrotti, for your leadership. You and I have had the opportunity to discuss the importance of countering Russian propaganda and malign influence in the information space. And during our last conversation, you mentioned the Russia Information Group, which is a working-level interagency group to counter Russian aggression. And I'm pleased to see the efforts of this group and the State Department's Global Engagement Center. But my question for you is, what aren't we doing that we need to be doing in this area to more effectively counter Russian propaganda? We discussed a lot of the improvements that have been made in terms of grappling with this issue, but what more do we need to be doing?
Well, I think, we do have a structure. We have the group that you mentioned, for instance, that is multi-agency, et cetera. But we actually have to, provide it direction and resourcing on a larger scale than it's been done to this point. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I think we have to be more direct in our values, in our messaging. If we think back to Voice of America, there's in Europe today, there are those in the eastern countries that tell me that they recall when they were in the Warsaw Pact, hearing a Voice of America and the difference it made. Those are the kind of things we need to do on a greater scale than we're doing today.
So let me ask you this. As you know, in last year's NDAA, we expanded the mandate of the Global Engagement Center, which is within the State Department, to include state-sponsored entities of propaganda such as Russia. How can we empower the Global Engagement Center? And a larger question is that the right coordinating body within the State Department?
Again, I think whether that's the right coordinating body, I think is probably best determined by the State Department, not I. I really can't tell you best how they should organize for this. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a good start. It's an agency that we know we can go to that's empowered within state to conduct this mission. And so again, my experience with it is that this is on a much smaller scale than we need today. We have an opportunity here, I think, to focus on this, and perhaps with a new administration, et cetera, we can begin to empower that more and reinforce it. And whether that's exactly the way it should be, I think we'll see as time goes on.
You mentioned in your response to some of the other questions the importance of working with our partners. What can we do to better leverage more the NATO Strategic Communication Center of Excellence in Latvia, similar to the way that EUCOM and NATO leverage the NATO Special Operations Headquarters?
Yeah, we as in EUCOM are actually connecting with that node. We in EUCOM are connecting with EU and NATO, for instance. So what we're trying to do is form nodes, and on the cyber side, that's a very important one in Estonia. And then through that, reinforce this network that defeats a network, so to speak. That's what we have to do. And so we're working, I mean, that's one of our basic models within EUCOM to empower that. And on the NATO side, they have approved a strategic direction, is what I would call it there, that enables parts of our chain of command within NATO to link with EUCOM's command. So I think there's the beginnings of this. We just need to begin to reinforce it and develop it.
And my last question is, 2 years ago in the FY16 NDAA, this committee noted concern about hybrid and unconventional threats and directed DoD to submit a strategy for countering unconventional and hybrid threats. Unfortunately, the DoD has yet to submit or even begin to coordinate with other government agencies. In our language in the NDAA, we also noted that, quote, most state sponsors of unconventional warfare, such as Russia and Iran, have doctrinally linked conventional warfare, economic warfare, cyber warfare, information operations, intelligence operations, and other activities seamlessly in an effort to undermine U.S. national security objectives and the objectives of U.S. allies alike. First, do you agree with this assessment still and the need to develop such a comprehensive whole-of-government strategy? And second, in terms of countering hybrid warfare, are we any closer to linking all of our tools and capabilities?
I agree that we have to have a holistic, whole-of-government strategy, as you stated. I think we're closer. I think we're not sitting still. We're making progress, and particularly I can speak to the military side of this. As I said, we're working with our allies through established nodes. Our special operations forces in particular are very good at this, and they're active, not only in what they can provide us in this domain, but also building capacity with our allies.
Thank you.